today. We'll begin with roll call and introductions. So Ms. Nisley.
Okay, Regent Amer,
Present.
Regent Johnson,
Here.
Regent Mendoza,
Present.
Regent Benson. And presenters, Sam Christie Dangermond
Here.
and Jen Bonzraki.
Present.
And that concludes roll.
Thank you so much. And now I think Dr. Bonzraki is going to introduce our new Director of Academic Affairs.
Thanks so much, Regent Johnston. It's my pleasure to introduce you guys to Dr. Trey Hill. Dr. Hill comes to us with a strong familiarity with Kansas higher education. He earned his PhD from Kansas State University, and then he worked at Fort Hays State University as both a faculty member and a department chair. He comes most recently to us from Oklahoma State University Institute of Technology, having served as vice provost and a dean there. So appreciate you guys helping him feel welcomed back to Kansas.
Thank you so much. Welcome, Dr. Hill. We're happy to have you. Welcome. All right, approval of minutes from the January 27th meeting, which was a virtual meeting. I'd entertain a motion for approval.
So moved. Second.
Any discussion? All right, all those in favor of approval, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, motion passed. All right, we have no consent agenda items today, and we have no discussion agenda items today, so it should be a relatively short meeting. We did have quite a bit of discussion at our virtual meeting. And so moving on to other matters, of course, Director Christie Dangermond is going to talk to us about the performance report and rubric.
Thank you. And just so to give you a glimpse ahead, we will be asking for a motion to approve the rubric if it meets with your approval at the end of this. So if we could start, Madeline, if you wouldn't mind sharing page 5 of the agenda. We will take a look at the first page of the performance report template. And then just to remind you guys where we are, we're in the 3rd year of the current set of performance agreements that lasted from AY 2024 through AY 2026. And what this report is asking institutions to tell us, it's how are you implementing all of these initiatives in fall of 26 that we've been talking about for the last few years. So as you can see, we're going to go over the report really briefly, and then we'll take a look at the rubric. But as you can see on this first page, if you'd scroll down just a little bit, all we're doing here is just asking the institution to identify itself, give us the contact person and how to reach that person. And then the next page, we start the first component of the 5 components of these performance agreements. And you'll probably recall the first component is the math pathways. The second component is co-requisite math support. The third is co-requisite English support. The fourth is going to be the system-wide placement measures for the Math Gateway courses and English Comp 1. And then the 5th component is the degree maps. So this second page, we started with that component 1. So we're asking the institutions to basically let us know what are your course IDs and your course titles for these math courses, the number of hours that they are, kind of tell us how to find them. And then we ask them to provide a link to their fall 2026 course schedule showing a listing of those math courses. So we can see, okay, they're on board, they're planning, they're offering these courses in the fall. We're also asking on question number 7 for a link to the spring 27 course schedule showing the same thing. So next year, as you will recall, is the first year of full implementation. So each institution should be offering the 3 Gateway math courses so long as they apply to programs on their campus. Those 3, not all 3, may apply to some of the technical college programs. So we've already expected that. The second, page 7, for the second component, if you go to this one, thank you. We're asking for the information for the co-requisite math support courses. The ID, the title, the number of hours for those courses, and again, a link to the fall 26 course schedule and a link to the fall, spring 27 course schedule. And I should have remembered, I forgot to let you know, it's a little early to be asking for that spring 2027 link. So we said, hey, if you don't have a link, we get it. We did something similar last year. Please just let us know an estimate of how many sections of these courses you're offering and then the maximum capacity for each of those sections. So we can see that institutions are ready for this and offering these things full throttle. Page 8, we're asking the same types of things for the English co-requisite support. It's really the same thing, so I'll spare you my voice for a little bit. And we'll go to page 9. This is where we're asking about the system-wide course placement measures for the 3 Gateway Math courses and then also for English Comp 1. And so what we've asked them to do, and based on a question, we may change this just a little bit. What we're asking them to do here is to paste in a link to their policy showing that they're complying with the system-wide course placement measures for math. And then the next question is the same question for English, placement measures for English. Someone asked if we would like them to go ahead and paste the text of the policy in here. And I said, that's great. That's a great idea. We might change this around just a little bit to request that they put the text of the policy in here. So it's all in one place and we won't have to go around and look for it. Any questions so far? Yeah.
I do have one, and I'm not sure if it's for you. I did notice that the Kansas legislature, one of the things they don't want to do is to pay for concurrent courses that are co-requisite. Is that, or that's something that's being discussed? So is that due to the fact that they're not considered college ready? Is that why we're not wanting?
I had a different understanding of the
I
legislation.
was just,
Did you?
So I wasn't aware of the legislation with concurrent enrollment. Where it's come to our attention with co-requisite is around the Promise Act. So they are considering a bill right now that would remove funding to reimburse for the co-requisite hours.
I'm probably wrong about that. I think it is the Promise Act, not all concurrent. So you're right. I'm wrong about that. But so it's under the Promise Act.
Right now it is allowed, but they're considering removing that from
That's what I,
being permitted.
And before the legislation explicitly indicated funding would be for co-requisite only, not for prerequisite developmental support. So it's a change that they're looking at.
but previously they have paid for co-requisite courses. Isn't that the case? It was just, I mean, I just, when I saw that, I thought, well, you know, in terms of what we're asking for, in terms of we believe co-requisite, obviously, you know, the data and stuff is showing that, you know, for student success, this is a better path. I thought, well, that doesn't exactly align with, and I didn't know exactly what sort of the thinking was.
I think it is along the lines of it's not considered college level, but
We did provide an information sheet speaking to the
did you?
effectiveness of co-requisite in other states and how it can reduce time to completion and that students would enroll in fewer hours with the co-requisite model than the previous version of the prerequisite. So hopefully that helps in deliberations.
So you did provide that. That's good. Thank you. Sorry.
no worries. Thanks for asking. I think we're ready for the degree maps on the next page. You'll remember probably from last year, 2 of you guys, that we asked them for a link to a landing page where the institution shows all of their academic programs that they offer, where a person can click on one of those programs and go right into a degree map showing what the semester by semester layout for the courses, you know, what is required to achieve the credential. We also asked that they put the general education coding in so that students can identify which courses will apply to general education requirements. And so that is the 5th and final component of the report. If we scroll down, we'll go to the next page, we're going to take a look at the rubric. It's a lot of the same stuff, basically. On the first component for Math Pathways, like I mentioned, we're asking for links for the fall 26 and the spring 27 course schedules. As long as those links are provided or all of the information is provided, if a link isn't available, then the institution is expected to get full points for those components. If something is missing, it goes down to 5 points per subcomponent. So it's either 10 or 5 or none. if nothing is provided, and we haven't seen that. So the second component for the co-requisite math support, it's the same thing. We're asking for the fall 26 link, spring 27 link, full points, half points, or none. And the same is for the co-requisite English support. Same setup. Then for the system-wide course placement measures, again, if they provide that link to the policy, or then if we change it to the text, let's see, what does it say? And this usually doesn't. Then it's full points, it's half points if some component is missing, or if the policy doesn't demonstrate compliance with the system-wide math course placement measures. And then it's nothing if they don't provide us any information. So the final component is the degree maps, and we're asking again for a link to that single landing page with a listing of all of the programs, and asking for the general education coding as well. Again, it's full points, half points, or none. That is the end of my spiel. Do you guys have questions?
Regents, do we have questions?
I have a couple. First, I appreciate the time you spent with me just to go over this last week. Is this replacing some report, or is this a whole new report that the universities are being asked to present?
This is new. Well, so they're asked every year to provide a report on that year for that year of the performance agreement.
Got it.
So this is that report.
Okay,
It's similar to what they provided last year.
okay,
But we've just adjusted it to reflect that fall of 26 is full implementation of all of these initiatives.
okay, all right. And then remind me, please, about the points. What does that signify?
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I didn't mention that. Yeah, so if an institution gets full points, then they are recommended for 100% of any new funding that might come from the legislature. It doesn't look too positive right now for any of that, and we have seen years where there is no new funding. But these are, the agreements and the reports are required by state statute, so we still have to do them.
I understand. So that we still have to require them, and the institutions still have to comply.
Yep.
Okay,
Sure, sorry, I didn't think to mention.
that's okay.
Would just like to add, one thing that isn't represented in the rubric is the lift that we've asked of our campuses over the past 3 years to develop these policies in a true cross-functional spirit. They have been working diligently. And so I would be remiss if I didn't highlight the amount of work that really has been happening on each campus.
That's kind of what I was curious about, because it seems that this is something else they need to comply with, so.
Right. And the report just really isn't very indicative of all of the work that has gone on into these initiatives, so.
It seems to me that there's quite a bit of work that's gone into this.
Yep.
Just by looking at it and what's asked for. Okay, thank you.
I had a question. So I've seen many course schedules over the course of many years. I guess my only question is, to meet the partially meets where it says include some component, something is missing. I'm assuming there's some kind of template or guide that indicates what components have to be listed on the course schedule? Or do they just refer to this rubric to know that it has to have the course section, that kind of thing?
Yeah, this rubric is the only indication of what we will be looking at. And so when I looked at the links last year, it seemed like it was a pretty common thing. They would have the course ID, obviously the times the course is offered, and most, if not all of the time, at least the capacity. If any of those things were missing from a link, I would work with the institution directly to get whatever information is missing and give them every opportunity to include that in the report template itself. We're not looking to knock anybody for points or anything here.
Right. I just wanted to, I didn't know if there was like a universal way that they're set up or supposed to be.
Not that I know of.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
So have the provosts given you input on how this rubric should be set up, or have you visited with them about that? Or
No, we did the first year for the first year of the current 3-year agreement
Okay.
And so we've just kind of gone from that. And we did share this with them at SCOPO, and I should have said, please let me know if you have feedback.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Is it fair to ask if they have any feedback today?
Absolutely, in my opinion.
I don't want to step on toes,
Sure.
but
Yeah, of course.
Regent Amar, from my point of view, just visiting with our team here at WSU, it looks like a very streamlined process. It shouldn't take us much to complete it, and I think we're very much in compliance with it. So we don't foresee any challenges with it.
thank you.
I would concur. This is the easy part.
Okay, I just recognize.
3 years ago, we probably would have had a different answer.
Okay, just want to know if we were all on board.
Yeah. Thank
Okay,
you. Thanks
thank
for
you.
asking the question.
Yeah. Our registrar was watching as this was rolled out this morning and we were texting back and forth and she said, "Phew, sigh of relief. We've got this. We're ready and poised to respond."
I'd echo the same. I'd also echo the amount of work to create these things, and the information systems behind this has been a massive lift on the part of our faculty and our registrar functions. It's really good work. It will be incredibly helpful to our students and our faculty to have these structures in place. The reporting on it, we are happy to do.
Okay, thank you.
I agree, and I appreciate the question, Richard.
Yes.
Welcome.
Thank you. Any other discussion surrounding this? I agree, a ton of work has gone in on the backside, and I hope that what we're seeing can be beneficial in terms of, strategies towards, how we're going to change, whether we're talking about math pathways or co-requisites or whatever. And so that's the intent, of course, is to try to improve student success, accessibility, all those things through the policies that we have initiated. I used to do these reports at a time when we would have stretch goals. I'm not sure they were always stretch goals, but and we would get 100% of 0, which I'm like, okay. And we may be back in that era, I'm not sure, but it is greatly appreciated that I know that you have staff and folks that have worked really hard to stand this up, and so it is greatly appreciated. All right, so next we'll have academic affairs updates by Dr. Bonzraki.
Thanks so much.
I forgot. Yes, I had it written right there too. Thank you, Regent.
I would move that we approve.
And we're approving the rubric. Is that right?
Mhm.
Okay. So,
Second.
all those in favor say aye.
Aye. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Academic affairs updates.
Okay, thanks so much. Is President Oswald in the room? I don't see him, but I'm sure. I wanted to take a moment just to recognize the great work of our SGA leaders at Higher Education Day on February 4th at the Capitol. The students worked really diligently this year to align and agree on their priorities across campuses and to align with KBOR budget goals. And I was really impressed with the way that they worked together. And they advocated not only for student aid for our 4-year institutions, but also for our 2-year institutions. And so I really love that they were focused on supporting all students in Kansas. As they were preparing, I also want to highlight that each of our campuses provided advocacy training for the students before they went to the Capitol. And then 2 graduate students from Fort Hays State also held a special advocacy training for the students. So everyone was really involved in that great work. And I hope the students are reflecting positively on their time from last week. So wanted to be sure you guys were aware of those efforts. As you know, last month, the board approved the new workload, tenure, and post-tenure policies. And then those policies include some annual reporting requirements, and those became effective immediately. So academic affairs at KBOR is also working with the data research and planning team, as well as my CAO colleagues around the table, so that we can have a better understanding of what our institutions are already collecting in terms of those metrics, and building a system that's going to work for us to be able to gather what we don't have right away. So appreciate working with the CAOs on that, and more to come. It will take us a little while to get everything lined up, but please know we're already working on that. As Director Dangermond mentioned earlier, we're nearing the end of the current performance agreement cycle. In the coming months, BASC will need to discuss a bridge agreement for AY 2027. That will allow the next board president, I'm guessing, to be able to shape the 3-year agreement that would follow. So I've already began conversations with our CAOs about some possible topics for that, and I'll bring that forward to discuss with you guys coming up soon. So please know it's on our mind, and we'll be sure to continue the conversation.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Would you explain that one more time?
Yeah, absolutely. So the performance agreements are on a
Right.
3-year cycle, right? And so it ends this July 1st. Normally, we would go ahead and do a 3-year cycle again, or we could do a bridge agreement, which has been done in the past. I recommend we consider a bridge agreement for 1 year. And then that way, as we have new leadership at the board, they would have the opportunity to help shape the 3-year performance.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And then finally, we can maybe end on some good news. Happy to share with you guys that Kansas has been selected to participate in SHIO's Holistic Advising for Student Success Initiative. So this work will help us strengthen advising, align efforts with state priorities, and build cross-sector collaborations. And there will be a state announcement about that this week. So hot off the presses that we were selected. I think we're one of 4 or 5 states to be selected as a recipient.
I'm sorry. Another
Yes.
question. Was that an
Please.
acronym?
SHIO, yes, what does SHIO stand for? The state.
State Higher Education Executive Officer.
Executive State Higher Education.
Executive.
Okay, thank you.
Apologies for using the
No, that's all right. I'm
acronym.
just, I want to make sure I have it straight.
That concludes the report.
Thank you so much. Do we have questions? Other,
Other than my,
which we appreciate, we greatly appreciate. So I think it's important to have, open dialogue about,
Thank you.
especially questions. And the acronyms are difficult, trust me. It's the only advantage I had coming on the Board of Regents was I knew a little bit about acronyms. That was it. But yeah, they can be difficult.
Thank you.
Anything else? Anything else to come before the Board Academic Affairs Committee today? If none, I don't have it right in front of me. When is our next meeting, Jen?
March 11, correct?
No, we got a virtual meeting,
Oh.
February 24th.
February 24th?
For the virtual.
Okay.
Interesting.
So February 24th, and that's usually 10:30? Right now, we're gonna say February 24th at 10:30. That'll be our next meeting. And I never know if I need a motion for adjournment or we can just adjourn.
That's your decision, right?
So
Okay, well,
engaged.
we're assuming that it's gonna be unanimous, so
Okay.
we are adjourned.